Luka Doncic looks to be improving regularly. Every time we see him, he's managed to ascend to a new level of greatness. It's like he plays basketball on easy mode, and setting records is like a pastime hobby. If you want to know more about the struggles the Mavericks are facing in trying to build a team around this superstar, be sure to stick around to the end of the video. First up, what's the big problem here? The Dallas Mavericks are in a bit of a pickle as they try to figure out how to build a strong team around their star player, Luka Doncic. It's not easy to find people who can fill in the gaps that other superstars who have long since moved on from the Mavericks left behind. That being said, things aren't exactly looking good for Dallas. The Mavericks recently decided to waive Facundo Campazzo in favor of securing the all-star point guard Kemba Walker. They hope that with Kemba comes the start of something great for the Dallas team. The NBA's winter trade market is just around the corner, and that means Dallas will be looking for players they can fill the team with. More specifically, players who can help them gain added ball handling and creation ability behind their current star man Luka Doncic. In essence, they're trying to fill in the gap that Jalen Brunson left in the team when he decided to dip from the Mavericks and instead hop on over to New York. Because the Mavericks were able to follow that up with a sprint to the conference finals tells us that he wasn't that sorely missed from their lineup. However, that doesn't change the fact that it doesn't matter how many points Luka scores alone. Unless he has a solid team to help him, the Mavericks won't be becoming NBA champions anytime soon. Next up, how bad are things? As things stand right now, the Mavericks have suffered from a 4-game slide, and hence Dallas is currently sitting at 9-10, meaning that they've been kicked out of the postseason picture altogether. At least as things stand right now. We think it's time the Mavericks accept a few hard-to-swallow pills. The truth is Campazzo was never a suitable replacement for Jalen Brunson. It's just a pity that it took the Mavericks almost a whole season to realize that. We kind of saw it coming, because Campazzo only managed to play 52 minutes throughout 8 games. Campazzo always represented Doncic's past as opposed to his present. Now you might be a little confused by that. Allow us to explain. See, as time went on, Doncic evolved. He grew into a better player and hence needed better teammates. Campazzo, while being a familiar face from back home, was never going to be the teammate that Luka truly needed to help the Mavericks go all the way in the NBA. Another interesting fact to note is that it's for that same reason, to try and bring familiar faces into the team for Doncic, that the Mavericks held lengthy discussions about potentially signing Goran Dragic. According to some sources, Dragic is a player that a lot of Dallas fans want to see in a Mavericks shirt. Coming up, what are they going to do now? The Mavericks know that they've got possibly the best player in the league right now on their hands, and even managed to get a taste of his dangerous postseason game last time around when he incorporated both skill and precision to annihilate his opponents on the court. The biggest example of this would be the Phoenix Suns. That being said, Doncic has only gotten better, and there doesn't seem to be a limit to what he can achieve. The man just keeps aging like fine wine. It's not like he does crazy skills either. He's just good at what he does, and he keeps on doing it, with little to no opposition from anywhere. So the Mavericks naturally need to make sure they provide Doncic with the best team possible surrounding him to make sure they can land a few rings shortly. Now the Mavericks know that signing Kemba Walker won't be a solution to all of their problems. However, it'll still help stop the Mavs from bleeding and act as a band-aid against everything they're suffering from right now. Walker has been plagued with his fair share of injuries in these past 2 seasons and is far from the player that the Mavericks were initially trying to sign back in 2019. Still though, you have to remember that Doncic hasn't had much to work with since he started playing for the Mavericks. Apart from Brunson and Dinwiddie, the rest of the team he had on the court alongside him was pretty much toast. Yet despite all of that, he still managed to land them just 3 wins away from winning the NBA championship. Adding Kemba Walker to the mix might just be what they needed to finally be able to take it home. Finally, will it work out for the Mavericks? At this point, anything is possible. As we all know, the Mavericks have never had the strongest of rosters, and yet, despite all of that, they still managed to somehow keep on fighting and winning. Sure, as things are right now, they probably won't be able to make it to the postseason. However, we can never truly count them out. As we've grown to know, Doncic is a phenomenal player and is currently carrying the Mavericks on his back. The man is quite literally the only thing standing between them and losing almost every game they play. Every time he steps on the court, he manages to produce a phenomenal performance and wows the crowd. With the addition of Kemba Walker to the mix, who knows how good the Mavericks will be able to be. Considering that last season they managed to reach the Western Conference Finals, maybe this is the season where we finally see Doncic wear a ring. Now let's check out Doncic's most recent triple-double against the Warriors. First up, Doncic manages yet another spectacular performance. This marks Luka Doncic's third 40-point triple-double this season. No other player in the NBA right now has managed to score score even one. Doncic just seems to be another breed of player entirely. It seems impossible to stop him from scoring a triple-double in every other game. The man does it on an almost regular basis. Jason Kidd, who's the Mavericks coach, jokingly said that it was getting boring watching Doncic score triple-double after triple-double.
Yeah, it's getting boring. I mean, what else? Let's see something different.
He even suggested that Doncic should try limiting himself to just his left hand to see if that provided him with more of a challenge.
Do something, maybe do it with his left hand. I'm just joking.
Because it was clear that no defender in the league has it in them to stand in front of Luka. Kidd went on to acknowledge the fact that he's one of the best players in the world, if not the best.
Look, he's one of the best in the world, and that's what he does.
He somehow manages to raise expectations for himself every time he steps on the court, and then proceeds to smash them in the next game. It's truly awe-inspiring, the way he manages to outclass everybody else on the court. Next up, how did he do it? Doncic was a dominant force on the court throughout the game. He was draining buckets, catching rebounds, and blocking shots, all without breaking a sweat. He's currently the NBA's leading scorer, and this marked the 51st triple-double of his career, and 5th 40-point triple-double of his career. Just like that, he managed to join yet another exclusive list in terms of greatness in the NBA. He was so good that even Steph Curry talked about his game on the court. He talked about how his size and basketball IQ made it hard to guard the guy. That, plus the fact that he's a 3-level scorer, meaning that he can shoot from anywhere at any time and will probably drain the bucket, makes it extremely stressful to try and stop him. Curry went on to talk about how unreal Doncic's court vision is.
He got a great handle, so he can use his leverage to get by you, and then obviously his court vision's unreal.
And how he's the perfect package when it comes to being a playmaker and a scorer. If he wants to, he'll get the ball to whichever teammate he wants, no matter how tightly they're being guarded. If he doesn't pass, then he can just shoot from anywhere. And, well, the rest is history. Finally, can we expect more of this from Doncic in the future? See, it's come to a point where even asking whether Doncic can do it, again, is kind of funny. He manages to pull off these insane performances on such a high frequency that wondering whether we'll see it again is almost an insult to the man. He's got the skills and IQ necessary to dominate on the court. We don't see why he won't be called the GOAT sometime soon in basketball. The man seems to be unstoppable, to the point where you can't stop him unless you intentionally foul him. Even that can only be done 5 times before you're kicked off the court. In short, what we're trying to tell you is Doncic is one of a kind, and he's here to stay. The opposition had better get comfy because he won't be stopped from wreaking havoc anytime soon. Well, that's a wrap for this video. Do you think Doncic will break another record anytime soon? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.